Listen, baby, don't you worry not to have it. I only want. Oh, you're the only. Come on, sing, man.
Here we go.
Oh, minute by minute by minute by. I ain't going home, baby. We can hit the
hold it on. Yes, I will.
I think that we could do a Michael McDonald cover band. Big Biz Show, great to have you along. 110 million broadcast homes strong, 150 radio stations in 175 countries. And the Day Trader Quattro. Listen, baby, have you worried? Do you know who we had on this stage? Do you know who we had on this stage at one point?
Who?
James will tell you. We had the guy who wrote that song for the Doobie Brothers.
That's right. Lester Abrams.
Lester Abrams was on that stage with me singing that song with Nathan East, James East, Noah East, and the entire day. It was a Day Trader. It was a Day Trader Siete.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember that, James? That was amazing. We got to sing the song.
That's awesome.
With the most musical family in this country, James East, Nathan East, and Noah East, along with Lester Abrams, who wrote the song, and then Trace was also there.
Oh. Yeah. I just happened to
and Mark was also there.
Is Kanye West a cousin or?
He's just a person. I'm talking about musical family. Come on. All right. Hey, Corey McCann came to us from one of you viewers out there. He's a president and CEO of a company called Pear Therapeutics. Pear, P-E-A-R, which is also their stock symbol. That is that's the horn of Pear, as we hear every so often in the studio. We got to control our sound effects here. They are redefining medicine, as the screenshot says. If you're a radio audience member, just go to their website, which is peartherapeutics.com. But what's interesting is they're in the business of prescription digital therapeutics. I'm going to leave it there, because I don't know anybody who can explain it better than Corey. Corey, great to have you on the program today, and thanks so much for being generous with your time here, considering one of your guys told us about you. We started looking into it. It looks pretty cool. So what is digital therapeutics or prescription digital therapeutics?
Yeah, first of all, thanks, guys, for having me. It's
Sure.
It's a pleasure to follow Michael McDonald. That's always a tough act to follow.
Right.
That's how you get invited back, by the way. That's how you get back on the show over and over, is that. So no, I honestly, I went on your website and I thought to myself, you're the leader in developing commercialized software to help us get better. As I guess the layman's way to put it, right?
That's exactly right. We build these things that are called Prescription Digital Therapeutics, or PDTs. And really simply, these are pieces of software that are designed to treat human disease. Like you'd expect to see for a drug, we run them through randomized clinical trials. And they then get approved by the FDA, prescribed by clinicians, and reimbursed by insurance companies.
So give us an example as a patient, okay? And is there, by the way, are there specific maladies that you focus on, or is it every sort of sickness? So talk about that for just 1 second, then I can ask my question.
Yeah, absolutely. So we think that there's a future where there are going to be prescription digital therapeutics for most conditions.
Okay.
We've developed 3 of the first 3 that have successfully gone through the FDA process. And the first 2 were in different addiction conditions. The third was in insomnia. And in addiction, we have one, it's called Reset, and that's for addiction to things like alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, and stimulants. The second product is called Reset-O. That's for addiction to opiates. And the products in clinical studies have shown the ability to enhance patients' abstinence, keep patients in the therapeutic paradigm, and then in the real world do things like keep patients out of emergency departments and inpatient hospital stays.
Okay, hey Corey, setting Mike's addiction to opioids aside and his addiction to all those drugs aside, let's talk about my insomnia. So as a patient, talk to me about my experience and what that would look like.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'd be interacting with your clinician, and your clinician would actually write you a prescription for a piece of software. And what that does is it puts you in touch with Pear's Patient Services Center. It's called Pear Connect. You use your own smartphone device, either iOS or Android, and you then are able to fill the product just like you fill a bottle of pills. And so in the example of our insomnia product, it's called Somrist. That's a 9-week continuous prescription. And what it does is it really changes your brain. So it causes neuroplasticity that in the end is able to treat chronic insomnia, And we are actually the only product with a label for chronic insomnia. So unlike things like Ambien or benzodiazepines, they're only indicated for short-term use.
Okay, just so I understand correctly here, are there drugs involved also, or is this just conditioning of my mind?
Yeah, so in the case of Somryst, the insomnia product, there's no drug that's involved. There's a huge opportunity here to work with drugs also. And so Reset, our product for opiate use disorder, works with a set of drugs called buprenorphine together. So there you have a drug software combination.
Yeah, so is that amazing? Like, talk about a holistic approach. I mean, that is the ultimate holistic approach to medicine. Is using, I forget if it was, it was Hippocrates, but it was, he say heal thyself. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what you're doing. You're creating now. Talk about the opiate and the drug addiction part and that kind of lane for a second. Is there drugs involved with that, or is that also, or is that a combination type treatment?
Yeah, so there's a huge unmet need for addiction products in this country. And so we've got two products there. So the first is called Reset, and that product treats addiction to alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, and stimulants. And so for things like methamphetamine, this is the only product with a label to treat methamphetamine use disorder. That product is a 12-week script. There's no drug for use in combination. And so it's digital alone. We have a sister product called Reset-O that's for opiate use disorder, and that product actually works with a pharmaceutical medication called buprenorphine, and that's to treat OUD specifically.
Wow, that's we've been on this on air here, on radio for 26 years. I've been on TV for 15 of it. I've interviewed everything from the highest captain of industry, Steve Jobs, to a guy who restripes parking lots and will tell you how to do it for $5,000. I've interviewed every biopharma company there could be, and I can't tell you I've ever seen anybody in the biopharma space that's not really in the biopharma space, right? I mean, you're in the curing space. Corey, we're short on time today, but you got to promise that you're going to come back on with us in the next week or so, because I'd love to sit there and spend a couple of segments with you to talk about this, because I mean, there's so much to talk about here. About even what's next for you guys as a company, by the way. So I want to take advantage of that, and I hope you'll come back with us. His name is Corey McCann. By the way, their stock symbol, PEAR. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Baby. President and CEO of Pear Therapeutics. PearTherapeutics.com. We are definitely having him on the air next week.
There's only like 1,000 questions that just came through my mind.
You don't know me at all. Come on, sing it. I want. Come on, Mike, sing it.
I don't know the rest of the. I know that I'm a first line guy.
You know this one. Oh, yeah. Come on.